Greetings everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Confluence, APS Raniket's podcast. Our guests for the day are Krishna Kumar from PCM, Shravya Singh from Humanities, Advait Gupta from PCMB, Yatharth Bhandari from Humanities, and I, Kushali Negi from PCB. And our topic for discussion today is how the mindset of a student changes while moving from 10th to 11th. Now, to kickstart the podcast, let's begin with a simple question. What do you mean by mindset of a student moving from 10th to 11th? Please put your views one by one.
Okay, I think I'll start. I would describe mindset using its dictionary definition. That is, a collection of abilities, traits, and mental conditions and capabilities that form a person as a whole. In this context, mindset is to be used to describe the traits and abilities of a student that aid in their academics and as such affect their stream selection.
Well, I would like to counter over one point of your thought, because I believe mindset is not particularly about traits, because traits is a completely different set of whole things. Mindset is, I believe, is something, how do you cope up with your challenges? Like after moving to 10th to 11th, how much willing and hungry you are to get success or better results in your academics or whichever field you have chosen. So I believe this is the mindset this should be the mindset of a student moving from 10th to 11th.
I would say that the mindset of a student who is moving from 10th to 11th would more or less be goal based and obviously partially based on their interests as well. And also it would be like the mindset, they would obviously be excited for their new class and their mindset would be based on like what they will do with that stream, what is their actual capability in that stream, what they can actually do in that stream. That is what their mindset would be.
I'd say mindset is the default way in which we think, like that includes our attitude, our beliefs, and our mental ability of how we see things while we are moving from our 10th grade to our 11th.
Mindset to me in this context refers to how we think and how we face the challenges that come and how we deal with comparison and if we believe in our abilities or not for the subjects that we have chosen for ourselves. Alright, now let's move on to discussing what was our core mindset behind choosing our respective streams.
Oh well, for me, my core mindset was not being in my comfort zone, because I knew that I could have done very well in streams like humanities or my interest, I'll talk about my particular interest. My interest was a bit inclined towards biology, but I didn't choose it because I believed that one person can do very well when he's out of his comfort zone, because there's a lot of changes you face out of your comfort zones, and there was a pinch of interest along with passion. My passion is to become a scientist, so that's why I was inclined towards PCM, which challenges me a lot now.
Well, my mindset behind choosing PCMB was basically goal-based, goal-oriented, and with partial factor of interest as well. Basically, there is job scarcity in India, and by that I mean if you say that you're going to give, let us say, JEE and NDA, then and you say that you're going to clear it and you're going to move on ahead in your career, you cannot exactly be sure of two things. Number one, you will absolutely clear the exam. There is always a possibility. On top of that, it may turn out that while you're doing it halfway, you find out that you were never meant for it, or you just don't like it, you don't have the interest for it. So all options, in my opinion, must be open, and that was my mindset behind choosing it. And on top of that, there was of course my personal interest for biology. I wanted to study science as a whole. I did not see any reason to leave out biology.
Yes.
So yeah.
For me, it was basically an intersection of my interests as well as my abilities. I like history and I am able to study a lot of data as well as frame answers with it. So for me, my stream selection came out as a result of me analyzing myself to see what both my interests were and what my abilities were. So like I said, it would be these two traits for me, abilities and interests.
If I am answering brutally honestly, I had decided that I wanted to pursue humanities back when I was in 8th standard because I had it in me that I had a very specific path chosen for myself, and humanities just suited me for the best. And unlike Krishna, humanities is my comfort zone very much, and I am happy with it.
Great.
Alright, so my core mindset behind choosing my stream was genuinely driven by my interest in biology. I really love reading and discovering about the living organisms and how they function. It is really fascinating to me. Also, I have a clear goal of becoming a doctor, so PCB was the most inclined and aligned and purposeful stream for it. So I went with it and it's going pretty fine. Alright, now let's discuss about how does a student's mindset changes while coping with their respective streams.
It changes drastically.
Brutally,
It
I would say.
changes in a way that you could have never imagined. First of all, because of the syllabus, it is so vast that you could never even think of it. Other than that, 11th grade is very, very different from 10th. And you are never even prepared for it, the depth of the concepts and all that, it just plays with your mind brutally.
I would say that the mindset change from class 10th to class 11th is astronomical. Okay, well, that may be a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm sure you guys get, you guys get my point, right?
Yes, definitely.
So the change in mindset of a student from class 10 to 11 is very, very large. Like one thing that it gives them this change, it changes their ability to take extreme amounts of load.
Yes.
They learn to take extreme amounts of load, and the jump from class 10th to 11th is large. Earlier it was just one stepping stone at a time.
Yes.
Class 10th to
It's a very
11th it was
huge
10 stepping stones in a single go. So it's like the mindset change is just wild. It's absolutely wild.
Well, yeah, like Alved said, the mindset change comes from a variety of factors. The biggest of them being the massive difference between 10th and 11th. Like, if you learned something in 10th and were used to it, you would very much not likely be able to use it in 11th. For humanities in particular, it comes down to two things. The amount of stuff you have to learn or memorize, and the amount you have to write.
Too
Like,
much.
Yeah. In 10th, you could write like what? 100 to 150 words, and that would be what, like what? 5 marks? Yeah. In 12th and in like 11th, you have to write something like what? 300 to 500 words for an 8 marks question. And
you'll never get the 8 marks.
Oh.
yeah, teachers most of the time find something to cut you on.
Something or the other.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a part.
Yeah.
That, and in order to write in order to write those 500 words, you also have to learn all the data, like all the information, all the facts. And this is also like another one of the biggest things which I see each student struggling with, in that up till 10th, many students sufficed on the last minute revision. That's not going to work for 11th.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So I would say that mindset change in PCM is very abrupt, because no matter how much you work hard, there is this one chapter is waiting for you always to make it even harder for you. So remember, my friends, you will not get it through a week. I'm talking about the numericals, PCM, the dry subjects. You will not get through them in a day or in 2 days, within a week, but slowly you will realize that you are improving, you are adapting yourself towards it. Your mindset change will be very random, and just go with the flow whenever your peace shatters. Be calm, be patient, and believe in yourself, because see, things will be upside down and results are very late to come. Actually, they are very late to come. So this is how your mindset changes in PCM.
Alright, for me, I would say that a student's mindset changes quite drastically, because in 10th we mostly rely on short-term preparation.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
even works, it works in that syllabus, but in 11th the syllabus is literally so vast,
That
you
only
cannot,
works then,
you cannot get it through in one night, or you cannot pull out all-nighter, it's definitely not gonna work. And we have to switch our academic approach to deeper understanding, conceptual learning, And I would say that it's like being exposed to a whole academic world. All of a sudden it's a drastic change.
There's a huge depth.
Yes,
Yes, yes,
exactly. You have to
Yeah.
get into the details. You have to spend lines. You have to give it your blood, sweat, and
You have to
tears.
particularly start from point zero.
Yes, you have to
Exactly.
restart, completely
Yes.
restart. You can't be
Yeah,
like, I know.
either sometimes restart or sometimes go back 5 chapters because
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Going the
Yeah.
next
Some
chapter.
concept.
That is very true. That is
Yeah.
actually
some
And-
concept requires something from past as
And if
well.
your basics are not clear, dude, you have to start from minor sometime in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally life-threatening. But everyone, and almost everyone struggles to cope in the beginning.
Hmm.
So you're not alone.
Yes, you're not.
We are all
Yes,
with
you're
you.
not
We are
alone,
all
my
with
friends.
you.
Everyone's trying to do it.
Yes, we've all been through it. Alright, now, let's do some short and quick questions. One expectation you had about your stream that was completely wrong.
Oh. So, working hard will give results alone.
I expected a lot of theory, but it's not just theory. You have to connect it a lot.
Purely stating facts will be enough.
I thought it would be both interesting and fun. Newsflash, it is certainly interesting, but it's not fun, my friend. It is not fun.
Yeah.
And I believe that, oh my god, it's just biology, like it's always been, but it's not the same. It changes drastically, and like the initial P and C are quite challenging.
Certainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, next question. What skills have you developed that you didn't expect?
So in PCM, you need longer sitting hours because dealing with a lot of numericals and not getting the solutions, you have to fight with your questions and numericals, get revision of theory and all. So this was imbibed by me by PCM a lot, and the next thing was perseverance, getting stick to one particular thing, even if it is not giving any results.
As a humanities student, I'd say that one thing I gained was my reading speed and my ability to comprehend. Like Yatharth already said, we had 8-mark questions and we have to write up to like 500 words per it. To write so much, we have to read so much. And I think I never had that much in me to read for long hours, but I think I do now.
Well, for me, it was probably the ability to take in the large amounts of data and be able to put it into a comprehensive answer in a what you would call it, single comprehensible format.
Well, for me, what PCMB mostly gave me was basically I got better correlation in between multiple things. I'm able to link two topics in like two things or two certain subjects, both in subject and out of subject. Even in real life, I'm able to link two things and correlate many things together quite easily than I used to do before.
Alright, and for me, PCB, as it is also stereotyped, I wouldn't agree to it, but still I did develop the skill of instant and long-term memorization. Alright, last question. If you had to describe your stream in one sentence,
So I would say that you think you will crack it, but PCM says, oh no, you are too delusional.
Really.
I'd say humanities builds thinkers and also not just problem solvers.
I would describe humanities as sometimes frustrating, but also it contains a lot of knowledge, many of which you will find interesting if you like it.
It is very interesting, but it's also warlike.
I would simply say cells, chemicals, and chaos.
Oh,
That's very good a point.
Yes. Alright, so last but not the least, I request everyone to share their personal experience, how they manage this grand academic transition, and what they would like to share as a piece of advice or a bit of guidance to their juniors, like what mindset they should have from the beginning, what all challenges they may face, and what is the right way to opt for your stream.
well, my friends, I'll genuinely tell you, please get yourself a roadmap and start as much early as you can. Never wait for the right time to come. And if you are thinking beyond academics or for further, then you must get a mentor who has followed the same goal as you did, as you are going to do. And just never give up. Never give up and never ever believe that you can't. Because if you want, you will and you can. Just stick with it.
My friends, I would say that the challenges that you're going to face when you come into 11th, in any stream for that matter, not just science or commerce or arts, in all streams, alright. The challenges you're going to face are many and vast, and especially if you're going with PCMB like I have. First of all, heavy syllabus. You're going to encounter an extremely heavy syllabus, and the individual content of subjects such as physics and chemistry especially, it's going to be extremely dense.
Yes.
For some, it may even be the same case for biology. So you absolutely cannot slack off. You cannot be like, oh, my class length has finished, I have passed with good marks, now I can take one good day of break. No. Okay? You cannot do that. That is, it's gonna harm you very seriously. And as Krishna already said, hard work alone isn't gonna get you anywhere. You need to do hard work plus smart work. And you also need to get yourself someone to support you, a mentor, right? And also, yes, do not fall into a negative mindset, like if you don't get your desired results initially, which many of you won't, I assure you. Many of you won't get the results that you wanted initially. So do not get disheartened, do not beat yourself up about it. Analyze your mistakes, search out your mistakes and analyze them, but do not fall into a negative mindset, because that's only going to make the situation worse.
Yes.
And of course, no rest, no slacking off, and consistency is absolutely key. That is what I would say that you need if you are coming into science or PCMB or any stream for that matter.
It can be said for like education as a whole.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, like the guys already said, I thought that I had a lot of time. I'll start tomorrow, I'll start day after. You never have a lot of time. And by the time you're starting, people are going to be 20 steps ahead of you, and then you'll be a complete
Sometimes
mess.
you don't even have enough time, let alone
Yeah,
time.
to even realize that you have already missed
Isn't there
it.
a quote that every minute you waste, remember there's someone practicing and getting a step ahead?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So please don't start late. Please don't think you have a lot of time, because trust me, you don't. You don't have time at all. Other than that, while picking your stream, please don't get influenced by anybody that, oh, my friends are taking this or my parents are saying that. चार लोग क्या कहेंगे, कोई कुछ नहीं कहेगा. It is you at the end who will have to cope up with your stream, and if you can't, you will be in deep water. Other than that,
They're not gonna come and study for you.
Yeah,
You
it
have
is
to study
good.
for you.
And you will study and you will be the one who reap the benefits of data price.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are the one.
Yeah. And 11th will humble you a lot. Be
Yes.
mentally prepared that you are going to get really humbled, and you will
Indeed.
feel that at some point of time everything in your life is falling apart. And I think we all have been there where we
Yes.
felt
Yes,
like
yes,
everything
yes,
is
yes.
We all
all.
agree to it.
Yeah.
Not contradict.
But it is only important that you don't get distracted, you don't leave mid your, like what do you say, don't leave what your goal is, and stay consistent to it, and you'll get there.
Yes.
Alright, and my personal experience honestly was quite challenging, to be honest. Looking
Yes.
back, I think I could have done much better. I could have put more efforts, been more consistent instead of waiting for that perfect time, you know. I used to think that I'll study once a day and study for like hours, but it's not the right thing. That's something I really want to tell my juniors, that studying daily for just 1 hour is still much better than studying occasionally for hours.
Consistency is
Yes.
everything.
Yes, consistency much greater than perfection.
Class 11th and 12th, they are like, massive wars. You cannot just, sit behind cover forever thinking you'll get out. You need to push forward.
You can't take a day off here, okay? It's all hard work in here. And to be honest, this journey is difficult. You are going to face failures, you are going to face setbacks and low grades and minimal marks, and you can be like, I was not this back in 10th standard, but
Indeed.
please understand this is normal.
This is not 10th
Yes,
standard.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and this is normal. We
Yeah.
all face this.
We
I'd
all-
like to add one thing. Whatever we 5 students are speaking over here is genuinely from our core.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not for the
Yeah.
sake of a
Yeah.
script.
It's
It is
just
your
your
heart.
heart.
It's from our heart. We have faced that thing,
Because-
and we are advising you.
Yes.
Please.
Please
Don't
do not mistake these
Don't
notebooks for
make-
scripts, alright?
Guys,
These are our thoughts
Even
written down.
if any commerce student is not sitting over here, I would say that you ask to your elders, they will give you advice, for sure they will, and
Yeah.
ask your teachers too.
because we don't want you to make the same
Yes.
mistakes that we did.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
we had the time to go back,
We would
we would
definitely
definitely
Yes,
do
yes,
all
yes,
of
yes.
this.
Yes.
We are dumb.
And as for the matter of streams, as I already said, the entire scheme of consistency and no rest works for all streams.
Yeah.
The challenge is equal in all streams.
And please don't have the misconception that everyone has everything figured out and I'm only the one lacking.
Yeah.
We all are lacking, dude. We
Everything.
never
Yeah,
had
like
everything
what-
figured out.
Yeah, like for instance, for me the biggest challenge was the very steep learning curve that you get from 10th to 11th. Like
Yeah.
there's the biggest, like that's probably the biggest thing between like 10th and 11th. It's the learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the learning curve. 11th is more about building efforts and discipline and
Yes.
less
Yes,
about
yes, yes.
instant and immediate results. You're not gonna
Yeah.
get immediate results.
Even in 10th, I was like the person who used to pull an all-nighter and score decently fast.
Yeah.
You will not do that. You will not be able to do that in 11th. Trust me.
And
Don't
trust
even try.
us. Just please trust
Even
us.
all nighter for a week will not take me.
Not get you there.
Yeah.
Not at all. You
Not
need
at
to be
all.
consistent.
And we were speaking like we were good scorers back in 10th. We
Yeah.
were not
Yes,
like
yes.
the sixth year,
Yeah.
okay?
No
We have
time.
been good scorers back in 10th, but
Yeah.
like it hit us like a train in 11th.
Mm.
That's why we're giving you this podcast. To please learn from our experiences and
Yes.
please share it with your friends. Please,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
please do that.
It will
get
help you a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you think that you know everything just from this podcast or just from the thing you've done researching 11th, I'd like to give you my biggest piece of advice for people who are starting 11th. The only thing that you can know is that you don't know a lot, and the only thing that you know for certain is that you don't know everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you want to start at 12th, if you want to start 11th, you need to remember one thing. You're going to have to do hard work twice. The first time you have to do hard work is analyzing yourself and in thinking, what am I good at, what are my interests, what can I do, and what stream is best for me. And then using that analysis to decide your stream. And then the second time is when getting in the stream and doing the hard work. Like we've been talking about here.
Honestly, ending it with a positive note, we've scared you a lot.
Yeah.
To be honest, just keep
It's
going.
the brutal truth,
Yeah.
my
You will
friends.
get there.
Please keep going, trust the process.
Yeah.
Don't
Of
give
course.
up midway,
Yeah.
okay? It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually grow through it and you'll
Yeah.
grow into a whole new version of yourself, a
Yeah.
better
Yes.
version of yourself.
You will see a major change in yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna grow into a whole new individual.
Not a step back.
Yes,
Yeah.
only a step further.
Yes.
Alright, thank you so much for watching this podcast till the very end. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious. This is Confluence signing off.
Guys, let me
Done.
do it.